In a busy city hospital, filled with polished floors, the constant beeping of machines, and the quiet urgency of saving lives, there worked a boy named William. He wasn't a doctor. He didn't wear a stethoscope. He wasn't in charge of surgeries or prescriptions. William was a caretaker, quiet, unnoticed, and often overlooked. He cleaned floors, restocked supplies, made sure every corner of the hospital stayed spotless, while others rushed past him in lab coats and scrubs. William listened, watched, observed. He was not just wiping floors. He was paying attention. One night, while taking out the hospital trash, William noticed something strange. Near the back loading dock, a van was parked, unmarked, suspicious. Two men wheeled out large sealed bins labeled medical waste. William had seen medical waste disposed of before. It went to incinerators. But this van wasn't from the usual service. Curious and concerned, William followed quietly. What he saw chilled him. The van drove to the edge of the city, to a small, impoverished neighborhood, one filled with children, elderly, families struggling to survive. The men dumped the bins near an open drainage canal and sped away. Over the next few days, William heard disturbing things. Children in that neighborhood had fallen sick, strange rashes, breathing problems, burning eyes. Nobody made the connection. Nobody cared to look deeper. But William knew. He had seen it with his own eyes. He reported it to the hospital supervisor, but the reply was cold. "Stay in your lane, William. This is none of your business." He told a doctor he trusted. The doctor looked away and whispered, "You have no idea who's involved. For your own safety, forget what you saw." Even his closest co-worker said, "You clean floors, William. Don't clean up trouble." But William couldn't stay silent. He couldn't pretend this wasn't happening. He couldn't ignore the children who were falling ill, the families drinking poisoned water. The silence was louder than any alarm. So, he made a decision that would risk his job, his future, even his safety. He gathered evidence, photos of the bins, timestamps, license plates. He contacted a local journalist, anonymously, and sent everything. Days later, the story broke. Hospital linked to illegal toxic dumping. News channels swarmed. Investigations launched. The hospital denied everything. And then, William stepped forward. He walked into a press conference, nervous but unshaken. He looked into the cameras, his voice firm, and said, "Yes, you all are wrong. Wrong to hide the truth. Wrong to stay silent. Wrong to let innocent people suffer for profit." It was not easy. William was suspended from work. People called him a liar, a troublemaker. But the community he protected, they stood by him. Doctors who once ignored him began to speak up. Whistleblowers followed. Investigations deepened. In the end, top officials were fired. The illegal dumping stopped. Cleanup efforts began. Medical practices were reformed, and the neighborhood began to heal. William never became rich. He never asked for recognition, but he gained something far greater, self-respect, and the knowledge that he did the right thing, even when it was the hardest thing to do. Because sometimes saying no is the bravest and right thing you can do. He said no to silence, no to injustice, no to fear. And that one no saved lives. The world doesn't always need louder voices. Sometimes it just needs someone brave enough to say no and to say, "Yes, you all are wrong.